All right, get ready, folks, because today we're diving into some seriously wild territory. AI that can outsmart other AI.
This is really cutting-edge stuff.
We've got a stack of articles about deepfakes, and the idea that, get this, the best defense against these AI-generated fakes could be, wait for it, more AI.
It's like fighting fire with fire, right?
Exactly. And, what's truly mind-blowing is just how fast this tech is moving.
It really is incredible. We've gone from those kind of janky early-stage fakes to AI video generators like Sora and Luma.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. It's amazing, really.
These things can whip up some crazy realistic footage, and it's all from scratch.
It's exhilarating and a little terrifying at the same time, wouldn't you
You
say?
hit the nail on the head with that one. It's both, for sure.
Like, we're on the verge of this digital free-for-all where seeing is definitely not believing anymore.
Right. You can't just trust your eyes.
And it's not just like some techies in their basements sounding the alarm bell.
No, not at all.
We're talking policymakers, celebrities, even the engineers who are building this stuff.
They're all kind of freaking out a little bit about it, from what I've seen.
They are waving those red flags about a potential deepfake deluge.
And for good reason, I'd say.
And the reason is these fakes are getting ridiculously difficult to spot.
Yeah, one article even went so far as to compare it to a digital arms race. Almost.
It's a good analogy. So, for a long time, how are we spotting these fakes? What was, like, the telltale sign?
Well, we used to rely on catching little inconsistencies.
Okay, so what kind of inconsistencies?
Things like, slight variations in pixel values between frames in a video.
So like those tiny digital fingerprints that cameras leave behind.
Exactly. Those were the clues that an image or a video had been, messed with.
I get it. So are these AI programs just getting so good at mimicking real footage that even those digital fingerprints are gone?
It's actually even wilder than that.
Okay, how so?
Because AI-generated videos aren't capturing actual scenes.
Right.
They don't leave those telltale fingerprints in the first place.
So no digital breadcrumbs to follow.
It's like they're creating reality out of thin air, in a way.
That is both seriously impressive and seriously unsettling. Talk about a challenge for anyone trying to spot these things.
Absolutely. It's a whole new ballgame. But that's where this new algorithm, misled, comes in.
Misled. Okay, tell me more.
So instead of trying to play detective with these pixel-level inconsistencies, misled goes deeper, almost like it's looking in the very fabric of the image.
So it's like using a digital magnifying glass to analyze every single thread.
Exactly. It looks for any anomalies, any little thing that gives away that the AI was involved.
And does it work?
Oh, that's the amazing part. That Live Science article you sent it mentions that misled boasts an accuracy rate of 98.3% when it comes to sniffing out deepfakes.
98.3%. Okay, that is impressive, but also maybe a little scary that it even needs to be that good, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
But hold on a sec, we're just talking about video here, right? Deepfakes in videos. What about other formats?
You are absolutely right to bring that up. Deepfakes aren't limited to just video. They can be audio.
Wait, really?
Images, even text documents, too.
Whoa! So you could have like a deepfake audio recording of someone's voice saying something they never actually said.
Precisely. It's already happening. Remember that story a while back, the one about that Hong Kong bank that lost $25 million?
Yeah, vaguely.
That was because of a deepfake audio recording. Someone impersonated a company executive and convinced an employee to transfer funds.
Ouch. Okay, that's a hard lesson to learn about just how dangerous this tech can be.
It's a powerful tool, for sure. And with any powerful tool, it's all about how it's used.
And when we're talking about AI that can create such convincing fakes, it seems like the potential for misuse is pretty huge.
There's no doubt about it. And we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Okay, so we've established that deepfakes aren't limited to video.
They can pop up anywhere, really.
And those AI-generated phishing attacks that we hear about, that's like straight out of a nightmare.
It's scary stuff.
To think that someone could get like a text message that looks and sounds exactly like it's from their bank.
Right.
Asking for their account info or something like that. Man, that's just...
It's the insidious part of this technology. It can be incredibly convincing, and that makes it incredibly dangerous, especially in the wrong hands.
So you're saying it's not just about deepfakes being used to, like, embarrass people or spread misinformation.
No, not at all.
It can have real-world financial consequences, too.
Absolutely. And it's only going to get more sophisticated. We're seeing things like vishing, which is voice phishing.
Oh, wow.
And smishing, which is SMS phishing.
Yeah.
Basically using these AI-generated deepfakes to trick people over the phone or through text messages.
It's like the scammers are always one step ahead.
It could definitely feel that way.
It's unsettling, for sure.
It is.
So if deepfakes can be audio, video, even text, what's next?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the answer might be even more unsettling than we realize.
Okay, so we're going deeper down the rabbit hole here, it seems like. We've got these super powerful AI tools that can basically mimic anything.
It's pretty wild when you think about it.
But it's the combination of deepfakes with those large language models, those LLMs like ChatGPT, that really blows my mind.
It's a game changer for sure.
Because now we're talking about not just like faking a face, we're
Right.
talking about faking entire conversations. It's like, where does reality even begin at that point?
It's a really interesting question, and honestly, one that doesn't have an easy answer. The line is definitely getting blurrier.
Okay, so break it down for me. We've got the deepfakes, the AI that can make anyone look like they're saying anything.
Right.
And now we've got these LLMs that can basically write the script, so to speak,
Exactly. And not just any script, a script that sounds completely natural and believable.
with like convincing inflections and everything.
That's the key here. These LLMs, they don't just string words together, they understand context. They get nuance, emotion, all those things that make human dialogue sound, well, human.
And that's what's allowing us to create these super realistic deepfake videos, right?
Precisely. No more robotic voices or weird pauses. It's getting really, really hard to tell what's real and what's not.
And this is where things get really wild, right?
yeah.
Because we're seeing companies, actual companies like Hour One and Synthesia, they're building platforms that use this tech.
They're integrating LLMs right into their software for generating these synthetic videos. It's pretty incredible from a technical standpoint.
Hold on. So just to be clear, we're not just talking about like doctoring up existing footage anymore.
Nope, not at all.
We're talking about creating videos of events that never happened with people saying things they never actually said.
Welcome to the future. It's already here.
I think I need a minute to process this.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
If you can't even trust a video anymore, what can you trust?
You're hitting on the biggest question here, I think. It changes everything about how we consume information.
Seriously. How we verify sources, how we can even begin to trust what we see and hear online. This isn't just some like tech issue anymore. It's changing the fabric of reality.
I think that's a really good way to put it. It's changing how we experience the world around us.
Okay. So let's say I accept the fact that we live in this crazy new world where seeing is not believing.
Right.
What hope do we have of even spotting these deep fakes? Even if I'm more aware, even if I'm like looking for it, it seems like it's going to be almost impossible to stay ahead of this tech.
It's a challenge. There's no doubt about that. It's going to require a kind of a global effort, I think.
Okay, a global effort involving...
Well, on the tech side, there are companies developing all sorts of advanced detection tools. Think of it as like, AI fighting fire with fire.
Okay, using its own power to expose the fakes.
Exactly. These tools, they're usually powered by machine learning algorithms, and they're trained on tons of data to spot those tiny little inconsistencies.
So they can see things that we can't even see.
Often, yes. They can detect those subtle signs of a deepfake that our human eyes might miss.
Okay, so we've got these AI detectives on the case.
Working around the clock.
But you said it yourself, it's not just a tech issue, right?
Right.
What else can we do as, just everyday people trying to navigate this new world?
Well, we can't just rely on algorithms to save us, can we? We have to arm ourselves with knowledge.
I like it.
Education and awareness are absolutely critical.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Remember when we all had to learn how to spot fake news?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, question the headlines, check your sources, be wary of anything that seems a little too good to be true.
Right. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Exactly.
Right.
We need that same level of awareness when it comes to deepfakes. But I'll be honest, it's going to be even trickier with this.
I bet. Deepfakes can be so convincing,
We really can.
It's like trying to spot a counterfeit $100 bill that's been, printed with perfect precision. You might not even know it's fake.
It's a good way to put it.
So we've got to be extra vigilant these days.
No doubt.
It's not enough to just trust our gut anymore.
Well, it's not just about knowing what to look for. It's also about trusting your instincts.
Okay.
If something feels off, even if you can't quite put your finger on why, there's a good chance your intuition is picking up on something.
So trust your gut, but also, sharpen those digital detective skills.
Exactly.
Got it. But this can't just be on us, the users, right? What about the platforms where this stuff spreads? Don't they have a role to play in all of this?
100%. Platforms, especially social media sites, they have a huge responsibility here.
What do they need to be doing?
They need to be developing clear policies for how they identify and deal with deepfakes.
So, like flagging them or removing them.
Exactly. They need to take a more proactive approach.
Because, I mean, if those platforms are profiting off the spread of misinformation, even if it's unintentional, they have a responsibility to be part of the solution, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we can't lose sight of the bigger picture here.
What do you mean?
This isn't just about funny videos or online scams, right?
Right.
We're talking about the potential for deepfakes to, like, disrupt elections, erode trust in institutions, even ruin people's lives.
It's scary stuff.
It's a much bigger issue than a lot of people realize.
It's like someone handed us this incredibly powerful, potentially dangerous technology and said, good luck.
Don't break anything.
Exactly. So we've covered the how of deepfakes. We've talked about the different forms they can take, the tech behind it all. But what about the why?
Why? That is the question.
Why are people creating these things in the first place? Is it all malicious? Or is there, like, more to it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It seems like it.
And the answer, like with most things, is complicated.
Okay.
I mean, in some cases, yes, the intent behind these deepfakes is absolutely malicious, right? Spreading propaganda, trying to defraud people, or just, causing chaos.
Right.
Just wanting to watch the world burn, as they say.
Right. Yeah. Something tells me those Hong Kong bank executives aren't laughing about that $25 million deepfake scam.
Not at all. But, to be fair, deepfakes aren't always used for bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There are definitely cases where they're used for, like, entertainment.
Like what?
Think like parody videos, or even in filmmaking. Imagine being able to bring back a deceased actor to finish a movie.
Whoa.
Right. It's both kind of amazing and a little creepy.
Talk about a moral dilemma.
That's the thing about this technology. It's got this weird duality to it. It could be used for good, it could be used for bad, and it's really up to us as a society to figure out how to manage it.
To determine how we use it, and more importantly, I think, how we mitigate the risks.
You got it.
Because this is a conversation that's only going to get more important as AI gets more powerful, as it evolves. And speaking of evolving, there's another layer to this whole deepfake puzzle that we haven't even touched on yet.
What's that?
The ethical implications.
Ah, yes. The big one.
Because this isn't just about technology, it's about, like, our values.
Exactly. It's about who we are, who we want to be, what kind of world we want to live in.
It's about what it even means to be human in a world where technology can so convincingly mimic us.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. Because as AI becomes more sophisticated, as it starts to blend more and more with our lives, it forces us to confront some really big questions.
It's questions
about truth, about trust, about the very nature of reality in a digital world.
And those, my friends, are the deep waters we'll be wading into next. Stay tuned as we explore the ethical dilemmas of deepfakes and what you can do to navigate this brave new world of AI-generated everything. Okay, so we've covered the how and the what of deepfakes.
The technical side of things.
Right, but now for, like, the really big question.
The big kahuna.
Exactly. What are the ethical implications of all of this?
It's a huge can of worms.
Because, I mean, it's one thing to have AI writing, a funny screenplay or something.
Right, something creative, harmless.
But it's another thing entirely when AI can rewrite reality.
It really is. It's the classic dilemma.
Right. How so?
Powerful tools. Fire can warm us, or it can burn us down.
Right.
And AI, especially as it gets better at creating these hyper-realistic fakes, forces us to ask.
Ask what?
What should be allowed, even if it can be done.
Because just because you can create a video of a politician saying something they never did.
Which is obviously a huge...
It's huge. It doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Exactly. And then what happens when people start using this tech for more than just, laughs?
That's when we get into some ethically murky territory, right?
It gets complicated fast. Let's say someone creates a deepfake video as satire.
Okay.
But then it goes viral. Some people get the joke, they realize it's fake.
Right.
But others, they believe it.
Because it's so convincing.
Exactly. And suddenly, this person's reputation is tarnished, their career may be even ruined, all because of what started as a joke.
It's like they say, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes.
Right. Except now, the lie has, like, a Hollywood budget and a team of special effects artists behind it.
Exactly. And that's not even considering the truly malicious uses.
Right, the stuff that keeps you up at night.
Election interference, scams, people trying to ruin other people's lives. It's a minefield, ethically speaking.
No doubt about it. So where do we even begin to draw the lines in this, digital Wild West?
Right. Who gets to decide what's ethical when it comes to AI and deepfakes?
That's the million-dollar question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's an easy answer. It's going to take a multifaceted approach, I think.
Okay, so what needs to happen?
We need policymakers involved.
Okay.
Tech companies, for sure.
They've got to be part of the solution.
Absolutely. Ethicists, philosophers, even.
Oh, okay.
And frankly, we need everyday people like you and me having these conversations.
So it's not just about some, tech geniuses in Silicon Valley making these decisions for everyone.
Exactly. This isn't just a tech issue, it's a human issue.
It's about society as a whole deciding what kind of digital future we want to live in.
100%. And that means thinking about things like regulation, obviously,
Right, some rules of the road for this stuff.
but also, education.
Right. People need to understand this technology if they're going to navigate it safely.
Exactly. Media literacy, even fostering a culture of critical thinking online. Because honestly, as AI gets better at mimicking humans, we need to get better at thinking for ourselves.
And that, I think, is the most important takeaway from all of this. This isn't just some abstract, philosophical debate.
This is real life.
This stuff has real-world implications. It affects how we interact with the world, how we consume information, how we connect with each other.
And it's only going to become more important as AI continues to evolve.
So what can we do?
Stay informed, educate yourself about deepfakes, how they're made, the different forms they can take.
Right. Knowledge is power, as they say.
Exactly. And think critically. Question what you see and hear online, especially if it seems too good to be true, or if it's trying to elicit a strong emotional response.
Because sometimes, even when we know something's fake, we want to believe it, right?
It's true, we're emotional beings, but we've got to be extra vigilant these days. It used to be, fool me once, shame on you.
Now it's fool me with a hyper-realistic AI-generated video wall.
Shame on you for not doing your homework.
Exactly. And on that note, dear listeners, we'll leave you with this final thought.
One last thing to ponder.
We've talked about AI detecting deepfakes.
Right, algorithms as the first line of defense.
But what if we're the weak link?
What if we're the ones being fooled?
What if AI gets so good at playing on our emotions, our biases, our deepest desires, that even when we know something's fake, some part of us still chooses to believe it?
It's a scary thought.
It is, and it's something we all need to be aware of as we navigate this increasingly complex digital landscape.
So stay vigilant, friends.
Very curious.
And never stop asking those tough questions.
The future, at least in the digital realm, might just depend on it.